Welcome back, State of Decay 2 survivors. This is Congrexes Prime coming at you with the Prime Directive Beta Edition, Episode 5. And today we have Bunndee GameZ and Necrotias, aka Tino, here as well. And I'm going to open up the floor to Bunndee so you can go ahead and say something.
How's it going, guys? It's been a while since we did one of these, so I'm very happy and excited to be here.
Tino?
Hey, what's good? Survival veterans and viewers of Prime. Also been a while for me. I don't even know how to talk. I'm kind of surprised. I been catched off guard and I have to regain all my abilities again. So I'm thankful for Prime's invitation.
What your abilities? Wait, hold on. What's going on? What's going on with you, Tina?
Just fooling.
Oh, I'm about to
I'm
say.
saying about the podcast thing.
Did you go to, did you go to another planet and have to come back and decompress? What the hell's going on,
learn the language again.
Yeah, you learned a new language? What's going on?
Like a human.
Oh, but we're not. Okay, we're definitely, that's a different kind of podcast.
Socialize.
We're definitely going to have to talk a different podcast at that point. Anyway, so what are we here? What we're here to talk about, guys? We're here to talk about the new, I don't want to call it a beta. I want to call it more like a test realm or test servers for the new upcoming update, maybe DLC that Underlabs has going on for State of Decay 2. And I'm going to take the reins really quick on what we're going to talk about first, and then we're going to go like we normally do on these Prime Directives, which has been, like Bunndee said, a long time. The last one we did was in December. So it's been a while. And the format normally follows, we go round robin questions. We talk about certain things. We express our opinions. And then we move on to another subject and so on and so on. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the very first thing, which is plague territories, right? Yeah. And we're going to talk about this because on paper, my opinion, of course, is that it's a good idea. On paper. Now, the way it was executed, it may need to be adjusted quite a bit, actually. There's certain things about it that I like. I like, the effects. Like when you're in the plague fog, I want to call it fog of war or whatever, it looks cool. At nighttime, it's a little hard to see.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But to me, I like the ambient of it, the feeling of being inside of the plague fog. It's like, whoa, you feel like there's imminent danger, right? And justifiably so. Now, when we talk about the plague territories, it's a touchy subject for me because, like, Tino's made a few videos about it, and I've not yet made a video, but it's gonna come out probably before the Prime Directive, or maybe afterwards, and I'm going to give you guys what I feel kind of like this about the plague territories, which is they're definitely toned up, very early. Like, you don't have time to really build up your character to be able to fight that fight. So if you start from scratch, you're definitely handicapped, severely. Now, if you bring a decked out Red Talon with dope weapons and dope skills, and everything laid out in front of you and a bunch of stuff carried over, and your inventory is carrying over from, let's say, a 100-day challenge legacy, you're going to steamroll through these hearts. Not an issue. But definitely there's more at stake, and a lot of it has to do with the way the zombies spawn in. It's very unfair, in my opinion. So that's my opinion about plague territories. I want to shift the conversation over to Bunndee GameZ, which is not beta testing or not testing on the test realm. He's actually looking at this from the outside point of view. So we're going to get Bunddee's point of view right now. And then Tina will go after him. So go ahead, Bunndee. You got the show, man.
Yeah, like you said, on paper, it sounds good because that's it's not an original gameplay mechanic, using territories where you have to go in and control the territory before you can claim a base or claim an outpost or claim people that you want to recruit or what have you. So bringing that in is cool, But I mean, I think that, which you guys have both mentioned that in your videos, that it should be an option of whether or not people want to utilize that feature or not. And the reason I say that I agree with it is because this is a 3-year-old game. If you have someone that's going to play that for the very first time, whenever the update drops, it's going to be a really different game than what we played 3 years ago. And for that reason alone, I think it should be an option of where you utilize it or not. On the other side of the coin, you have people that have been playing the original way since day one, and they're being forced to play it a different way they see, and that's not necessarily a good thing. So choice is always good in games. So I think they should make that a choice to whether or not people want to engage in that.
Yeah,
And to go to your point, Prime, about the higher difficulty and the spawns and things like that, is like at that point it kind of becomes a choice as well, because if you want a tougher experience, then you would start with fresh characters and then see how it plays out. But if you want to go in and go in your patent canon mode, then you're
mhm.
going to go in with the queen and with your established communities and things like that. So, I mean, bottom line is, I think it could be fun, it could be challenging, but I think overall it should be a choice.
Agreed. I yeah, I said that in my video as well. I think it should be a toggle, or even Tino put it out in his video. It should be a slider, like a difficulty slider, where you can choose how big you want those fog things to be, like the fog circles or spears or whatever the heck you want to call them,
Yeah.
and how wide the circumference is, and also how many plague hearts are also spawning. Because I think, just like he said on his video, 28 plague hearts is not a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if they want to, like, it's, again, it's a 3-year-old game, so how much effort they want to put into, they may want to make it, like I usually say in my videos, as simple as possible. So the circumference is probably going to be a certain, and that's probably the reason why the amount of plague hearts have gone down, because each plague heart has that circumference around it. And if every plague heart had that, it would probably cover up the entire map in lethal zone. So maybe that's why they scaled the amount of plague hearts back, because of that circumference around the plague heart.
Hence why I think this should be a slider, just like Tino
Yeah.
said in his video, where you can adjust it. I want more plague hearts in maybe less circumference, and
Yeah,
you can do that.
definitely.
It can work, man. It's definitely. I think this is a good, like you said on paper, is a good idea, Bunny, and it is. It needs to be tweaked, and there need to be options for people, like you said, to be able to pick what they want to do. It said, what did they said in one of their in one of the streams a few months ago? It's like pick your nightmare or something like that, or pick
Choose
your
your own apocalypse, it was
choose your
called.
own. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
Tino.
Right.
That's what I was trying to alert to. Allude to. I'm sorry, and that's what they need to do. I think in that respect. So you good, Bunny? So I'm gonna move on to Tino.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Tino, your turn, bro.
Right. I try to keep it as short as possible. But yeah, you had a very good point, Bundy, that with the plague territories, that it is a 3-year-old game. So how much do you want to change the way of a player, how he's committed to the game so far, and how he approached the game? Because everyone has his own strategies. And the first people who I saw with the toggleable option was, or heard from, was first you, Prime, and then in the comments a couple of your viewers and subscribers. And I think that that has to be a thing too, because it wouldn't be too hard of a thing to keep Lethal Zone at one point similar to as it was, but in, of course, with the other new features, so landmark outposts and both the upgradable outposts and of course the new fog of war, as you like to call it. I rather call it, for example, the red fog. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to everyone how he likes to call them. For example, it was the same thing with safe zones. Anyway,
Circles
same
of
opinion
trust.
there with you. Yeah, exactly. The circle of trust. Um, the blanket method, as you like to call it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the sounds. The sound so far from the Plague Territories itself. I don't know if you want to specify or not specify, but keep it all in one matter, one topic, as it's linked to each other. Because I would say it's overall like a plague heart / plague territory update or patch. So I like to
No, the sounds are
refer
cool.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. No, but keep it under one topic. So
No, that's fine. We
yeah,
can talk about the sounds. I mean,
okay.
we kind of missed it. So I mean, it's
Mhm.
the sounds
Yeah, or the music
are
after you
cool
defeat a plague heart. So the approach feels
beforehand.
a little different. Yeah,
Yeah, the music approaching in and the
and
sound
after
while
you
you're fighting the
defeat it.
play card. It's definitely
Even though sometimes, yeah,
whoever worked on that, Tino. In my opinion, they did a great job. Like sound
definitely.
wise, that's the strongest part of the
Great.
beta. It's
Exactly. Great point.
fantastic. Like the first time I hit a play card and it made that drafting noise, I jumped back. I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" You know, and it's all on live stream, which is funny.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I jumped back. I was like, "What is that? A T-Rex coming out to get me now?" You know, we got a T-Rex coming out.
Yeah,
You know,
you were like
Godzilla. You know,
Like Arnie paranoid in Predator.
yeah,
What was this over there? Oh my
yeah,
god, I'm
yeah.
over here.
Exactly, man. It's like dude. I stepped back like the first time you see it on my
Yeah.
stream, because I was like, what is that? Like I was, I got caught by surprise. The
They
noise
did a
it
great
made.
job, undoubtedly, with
No,
that.
no, no.
And
That is the strongest part of the beta, and I
mm,
didn't talk about it, so I'm glad you brought it up.
okay. Well, I would rather say that the strongest part, but we will probably cover that one up in the near future, is that some community or fifth skills in general were overworked and revamped. But there were also some other things with the plague territories that also Bunndee already talked about or addressed. For example, with the amount of plague cards that we are getting, because they try to listen. There were a couple of points that were kind of contradicting. 3 points to be very specific that I can count up. That Undead Labs, to me, without trying to offend them or no intention to insult them, but they sounded kind of contradicting. The first is with the play cards. They want to shift the main focus of players, both old and new coming players, to start from early game, not just mid game, to focus on play cards. But at the same time, they're reducing the amount of play cards. For me, play cards has always been like a fun thing. Like sometimes if I'm cool with that, I do like 10, 12 in a row, and sometimes I do them casually, like 1 or 2. But now we're kind of focused to or forced to do them early game already. But at the same time, they have to reduce them because, I mean, I had the same conclusion or came to the same conclusion. They have to do it to keep the map at least a little what's the word for it? Little under control, so it's not completely exaggerated and completely covered by plague territories when you're playing on night mode, even on lethal zone. Imagine you're having like 36 or 38 or 40 play cards, but that is why the other option should come in handy with the size of the plague territories or the plague zones, as I like to refer as well sometimes. Then the other thing was newcomers. They constantly try to, the second thing that I want to specify, where they were contradicting newcomers. They want new players, but then at the other hand, maybe some new players might feel scared or afraid of testing the thing with the plague territories, because now the game is overall, yes, more challenging, but not really challenging at the same time, because I feel situations can pretty much go completely out of control and send you to the moon from the first day. Like you said before, it feels like in-game day 1 is like what was previously in-game day 10, 15, 12. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of
It's
hard to
later,
keep up.
much later.
Exactly.
Yeah, you start from the minute you jump into lethal, you feel like you're in day 15.
Exactly.
The spawn
And
of
then,
all the freaks, the pharaohs coming out. I mean, it's like there's no holds bar. You'll get your first juggernaut within the first,
yeah,
10
I
minutes
had
of
it
you
on my
being.
second. Yeah, and I had it on the second day, which was kind of merciful of the game. If you
Mm-hmm.
think about that. And then the
Yeah.
third thing is also, like Bundy said, 3 years later, almost 3 years later, bringing in such a huge feature. I mean, there were barely any people asking for such a feature when we were pretty honest, or fairly honest, because at least me, I never heard or never saw someone asking for something like plague
It wasn't
territories.
It wasn't nobody asking for plague territories. Do you know why they
No.
made plague? I know Bunndee knows why. I know the why. The why was they weren't happy with people using their own mechanics in their game to mitigate how difficult the game was.
Oh, okay. For
That
example,
is
as
that
you
is the
called it, the blanket
solution.
method.
That is their solution to us using what they call cheese, which
Cheesy.
I'm gonna call that, and I'm gonna say that because that was
Game
quoted
mechanic.
directly by something that they implemented in the game that was used
Yes, that is
against
a game
their.
mechanic.
It's not cheese. They implemented that in their game. We used it as they implemented, but because they
Exactly.
didn't like it, they switched. This is what they came up with so that we couldn't use that method against the game. You
It's
know what I
actually
mean?
a good method if you think about it from the, from
From
their,
the
you know what I'm saying?
from their
Instead
point
of
of
just
view,
making,
yes,
because you remember one of the rumors was that they were gonna make them smaller,
they
the
did.
safe zones.
They did make them smaller.
No,
They're
but you know what I mean. That was gonna
yeah.
be their
No,
way
they look you
to
if you
control
look
it.
at footage, if you look at footage from my nightmare experience, and you go look at the circles of trust, and now you look at them now in the beta specifically, dude, they're tiny. Like there's
Well, that's what
hardly
I'm
anything.
saying. But it's
So
like it would have been more obvious if that would have
yeah,
been the only thing they did. And
turn
just like
they
you're
close the
mentioning,
circles. They close the circles, and they also put now they put a red fog so that you can't overlap it anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying
there were
that's the
other
reason
approaches.
why.
They could have went for another option. For example, you have to clear out the play card, and then you can save the area of the nearby buildings. So like the play card is secured, not just the building where the play card is, but also like a little circle in which you can't save or put a circle of trust or the blanket method above it. So there could have been other ways of for finding a solution for that specific thing,
Hopefully,
because yeah.
hopefully you put that on your survey. You
Mm.
know, I hope that's what you put on your
Yeah,
survey because
because there was something I was already worried like a year ago, like half a year ago, and now even more because recently I think it was you also played that clip. I'm pretty sure it was Brent who brought up the resource thing that they have. They have a limited budget, which is obviously
from
for
memory.
all of us players for a longer time because SOD2
Yeah,
is a 3-year-old game.
their
Yeah,
memory is limited on what they can do. That's why they
exactly.
can't really incorporate any additional assets, like
Yeah,
giving the outpost an upgrade look, because they would
mm,
have to actually go in
exactly.
there and draw it, and that's
Yeah,
the
they have to
reason.
change the whole appearance.
Right, that's a good like segue to what Prime had mentioned in one of his earlier videos when he was talking. I think before the beta actually came out, when they mentioned on their stream that a beta was coming, but before the beta came
Mm,
out, where when we talked about Lethal Zone, and I was like, I didn't like the fact that everything in Lethal Zone is about playing with the numbers,
yeah,
making
like
the
horde
enemies
mode,
more
as you called
spongy,
it.
making your characters weaker, and all that stuff. I was hoping to see like a change, like, and that was just an example using plague walls to secure bases. So
Yep.
they managed to bring that into the game without, having to drastically take up memory, because the plague fog, and I believe you said in one of your videos, Tino, is like sort of like the flashbang effect, but red. So
Yep.
they use assets that
Smoke
they already
grenade,
had in the
technically.
game that's not going to take up a lot of memory to give that effect, and to kind of give the illusion that you have to earn your bases and earn your outposts.
Mm. Oh, okay. So you pretty sure that this was like a resourceful, or like not resourceful, but a rather economical way of them
in a
to
very
solve that.
economical
Yeah.
way. No,
Everything that
Bundy's
they're
right.
gonna do
Yeah.
from this point
Mm.
on, it has to be in line with their budget. Because unless
Yeah, exactly.
they come up with paid DLC or something like that, they have a budget and they have limited resource, limited people working on State of Decay too.
That is
So
true.
whatever they do, they're gonna use assets that they already have. That's not gonna, and they always have to consider the older hardware. That's why the memory
That's the
issue
limit.
comes into
That's a
effect
limiting
all the
factor.
time.
Yeah,
The
it's
memory
the
issue.
old. It's the old hardware that this game has to run on, and they
Yeah,
have to keep a
unfortunately.
minimum of 30 FPS at a minimum. And if they add too much, and that's what I think I said that I can't remember what video I put that one on, but I spoke lightly about that. I was like, the game is designed to not just render the outside, but to also render the inside. So if you
Yep.
want like a
Oh,
metropolitan
yeah, yeah.
area, the way the game is designed right now is not designed that way. Most of those games that do that, they load the outside but not the inside. And when you go in the building,
Yeah.
there's like a small pause, and then they load in the assets inside as well when you go into it, so that you can run smooth in the outside.
And if you
That's
try
what
to keep, yeah,
yeah, so that's by design. So that's why we don't have like skyscrapers, 3 floors, and you know what I mean. A lot
yeah,
of big
exactly.
buildings in the game. It's because that's the way they by
They're
design
very limited.
that's no, but that's what the route that they chose to take is what I'm saying. And in a way, it's good because when you're playing around in SOD, there's very little loading, even when you're playing on consoles. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
once you load into the map, you're in.
Only when you switch characters.
Well, there's a small little, transition to load
Yeah,
the character
transition.
in. But in terms of like constantly being loading and waiting cutscenes and all, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of transition. So
Yeah.
in a way, State of Decay has revolutionized that aspect, and some of us are spoiled of not having to wait to load stuff. But that's the way it used to be back in the day. When big games like that came out. Like
Yeah.
for example, I'll give you an example: Grand Theft Auto. Whenever you go into a building, a mission, it takes a
Yeah, I
second to
remember.
load. You have to go on an elevator. You have to, there's something that happens, and they're kind of loading the assets in the background because they just can't do it. It's just too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too
And
much
we had
going
way
on.
less open world games back then. And even then,
Exactly.
they were split in like areas. So you enter a new area, you
That's
had a
it.
long loading time, and
Or something. Or
or
cutscene
missions.
yeah,
Most video games were
yeah.
split into missions, and within the missions, you had, and
Like
also
a
like you said, cutscenes as well.
you had something in there to make you feel like okay, something's happened. They're actually loading the
Yeah.
assets in the background. So I mean, that's just clever ways of doing it. I think we've beat this horse pretty good. I want to move on to the next topic if you guys are ready. If you're all done, Tino. I don't want to cut you
Yeah, yeah.
off.
No, but this
But
was only the last thing. Like I told at the beginning, I had three
okay, cool.
contradictions, and the last thing
Okay.
is where I was unsure about if this was still economical enough for them, because I don't want them to stretch out the last amount of budget or the money they still have for SOD2 on features that maybe not everyone wanted. But yeah, well, if they find an economical solution for that, it's all fine. We can
Uh,
move on.
One more thing I want to just add because I just thought
Yep.
about that as you guys were talking. That the other thing that they're going to have to take in consideration too is that if they make the plague territories on and off type situation, they're going to have to come up with a way to let new players know or people that don't know that that's a thing. Like a lot of consoles players that's not watching content that okay, we got a new feature, guys. We got plague territories. You want it or you don't want it. This is how it works, or whatever. So they're gonna
They
have to
can
have some type of
they can put it
implementation for that as
they can
well.
put it in the tutorial like right at
Yeah,
the beginning. Like
yeah.
when
And the
they
only
force you to
reason
go
I'm
through the
saying that
Yeah,
is
tutorials, they
because
can do it in
they
there.
seem to say a lot on their streams, like, well, a lot of people who play the game didn't know that this was a thing. They didn't know that this was a thing. Like that was their reason for making Providence Ridge the way it was, making it like
mm,
a tutorial map. But that was all I wanted
exactly.
to add.
But you know what? It's not a bad thing. I mean, the tutorial is a step in the right direction. I think they can just bolt this thing on, and they're like, "Well, do you want the Plague Heart experience vanilla, or do you want the new style? Where the plague walls, I mean, the plague fog is on, blah blah blah." And there is a difference in difficulty, yes or no. And you say yes, then you go in. You say no, then you can always come back and change it in the options. Just say it. There's a way to
Yeah.
put it in there and still give that particular option some clout. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they can do that. That's not
Yeah, they
that
can
that's
do it. It's just
hmm
that I'm just mentioning the fact that they're always mentioning like when they add new features, if it's something that's not available on every level from the very beginning of the game, that they have to think of a clever way to introduce it to new players. That's it. That's it. That's the only argument I'm making on that.
no,
Because
not
that's an argument that they're gonna make. You know.
That's not a big deal. I think
Yeah.
they got that angle covered. You guys are ready? Because we're Bundy. You're gonna lead off on this one, and this is gonna be about the Outpost, the new features with Outpost, and also the territorial Outpost, the special one that's in every map.
The
So if you
landmark.
the landmark one exactly. So what do you think about this coming from somebody who's not in the testing server, stream
Yeah,
Steam thing?
I think it's a good idea, upgradable outpost, especially for the early game. I think it helps a lot because in the early game, until you find an antenna, you're going to be limited on the amount of outposts that you can take. So having the option to, upgrade it to a level 3 and have 3 resources coming out of those outposts, with the exception of lethal zone where you have two times 3, so you get 6 on the food. I think it's a good thing. I don't see any negatives about it. You see some comments, people saying, "Oh, it's gonna make it too easy." Well, don't upgrade your outposts. So I
Exactly.
don't think that's a good argument. I like it. I think it's a good thing, especially if you're challenging yourself, playing with new characters. I think it's cool. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. The landmark outpost, um, I kind of go back and forth on that. Is that I get where they're coming from, and I listened to the stream on Monday, and it's like every map has something cool about it. So we want to make that a landmark outpost, but then we're going to um, figure out how we're going to make the strategy special, right? And 2 maps have basically the same type strategy, but with different resource. Like the windmills give you power, and the
The one
materials.
in Cascade Hills.
Right, it gives you
Yeah,
materials.
like a staging area. Exactly.
Right, exactly. And but you decide what type of resource that you're going to use. If it's going to be labor, influence, or what's the other one? Labor,
Scrap
influence.
parts, I think.
Yeah, labor, influence, or parts. Right. So that's okay. Me personally, I don't think that I would be utilizing those, but I mean, it's an interesting way to go. Definitely, especially if you're going to play without boons. So it does help in that respect. At one point, I was like, maybe they should have, a water and a power outpost with that same type of effect on every map. You know,
Mm.
because that would be a good thing for people that choose not to play with the boons. If you're looking for that extra challenge without going a superficial route, then that would be an extra challenge where we have to get this outpost. Or like me in Meager Valley, I like the camp where I know I got water, I got a water pump here, and the windmill is like right across the way. So, we can get that, use parts or influence, and we can keep our power going that way. So I don't mind it. I think it's okay. That's all I have to say on that.
Tino here. What is your thoughts on the Outpost?
Oh, I'm next. Okay. Well, then I also start with the upgradable outpost first. Well, I don't have any much more to add than Bundy. I think exactly the same. Because I also read many people arguing or actually criticizing about the fact, or for them it's a fact that it might be easier now. I don't think so, because you still have the same option as Bundy said. You can just claim the outpost, leave it as it is, and only use it for supplying, getting access to a supply locker, and having the extra benefit of the outpost like it was beforehand. So you get like +2 food on lethal zone if it's a food outpost.
They're
But
like
if you
some
decide
people
to upgrade
complaining
it,
about the books.
oh, yeah, okay, mainly the books. Well, for me, it's also a positive thing, because at the end of the day, you still have to spend something for them books, so you don't get them like a present. They're
Right.
not for free, and you have to, at the end of the day, still upgrade the outpost. So, and you spend, what's also the main difference, what I replied to many comments that I received, that you have to keep in mind, you have not only to spend the materials for them, but they're also not 100% like the facility. So they cost even more influence, like most of them twice or thrice the amount of the first outpost cost, like when you claim them. And furthermore, they don't have, and they will never have, unless they they plan something along that, but I don't think so, because that would be indeed too overpowered. Like adding a mod slot, but like an outpost slot, whatever. So that is also something that differentiates them from the regular facilities. I think it's a huge benefit for the way how you can plan and strategize your community, because now you can basically play off the whole entire playthrough easily in a minor base. And I'm not talking about the starter bases, but the best bases. In my opinion, those are the 4-man bases, like the Bridgeford and Cascade Hills, Valley Spa and Grill on Drucker County, or the fenced warehouse. What's it called? The Lundegard warehouse on Providence Ridge, with now more options, because you don't necessarily need to have like your hydroponic or garden or farm within the outpost, and you don't even need to waste I just like to call it right now, wasting a survivor skill slot for example, gardening and then agriculture. Or same thing if you have a met outpost that will also provide you, like, I think, what was it, +2 once it's maxed out.
No, it's +3 if you max it out, because there's 3 levels to every outpost. But you can't get past level 2 unless you have somebody that's medicine, somebody that's gardening, somebody
so
that's
you need to have that knowledge.
Skill.
Yeah, you have to get to that 3rd tier. You have to have that skill.
Yeah.
So that's a hindrance, but at the same time, it is, like you said.
Oh, so you're right. Also with the food outpost, you need
That's right. You need some
agriculture.
Agriculture. You can't go past the 2nd tier. But I mean, they give you the option there to just spend influence to get the skill.
But let's say, for example, other things like an auto shop. You don't need a
Mm-hmm.
workshop, no longer auto shop. That is great in my opinion. You have one large slot and one small slot saved on your base. So
Exactly.
you got more room to play with, to experiment. So
Definitely.
I think that's an opportunity, as long as you want to use that. If you want to limit yourself and play the harder way, or as it was supposed to be for almost
3 years.
3 years now, then you can still go on and just claim the outpost, don't level it up. And
That's it. I agree.
Exactly. And
Not disagreeing. Not disagreeing with you one bit with that one, and I'm not disagreeing with Bunndee at all. Well, because you're right. If you want to play vanilla, there's nothing stopping you. I don't play with you call me a masochist, right? I start games like that because that's the only way I can really gauge how tough something is. If I go in there with the queen and blast off, I know I'm going to get through it. It's just, I know I am, because that's, you got
less of a challenge.
Definitely less of a challenge. Your characters are not, you're not going to struggle. You don't have to manage anything. You don't have to manage stamina. You don't have to consume stuff to upgrade your energy. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to dime them out. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you guys 100%.
And the landmark outpost, also something, just real quick, because mainly my opinion was also 100% with Bunddees, because I still want to cover up that real quick. An idea that I had is most of them were, I wouldn't say disappointing, because at the end of the day, it's something brand new, a feature that I also love. But I would rather suggest them if they have the resources and it won't cost something extra, because it's already, I wouldn't say already in the game, but already programmed, already in the open beta or the test realm itself. So the unfinished version for the majority out there is maybe adding the possibility of 2 landmark outposts per map, not limited down to 1. For example,
Lucy mentioned that in their last stream, that's definitely on the table. So
yeah, right. That was something.
She said a lot of things in that stream, but yeah, that's one of the things she did say.
Yeah, that they're gonna add
has to be
more.
careful.
This is like a starting point, to kind of see the feedback. Because on Drucker County, I was like thinking that the landmark was gonna be the water tower, the big hat, and then I was like, oh, it's the hospital, okay. So, but I think the reason why they went with that to have like a variation, because just like the windmill. So I'm thinking that's why they made that choice. But I guarantee you, if they're going to have more than one, which according to Lucy, there's a high chance that's going to happen, that water tower is going to become a landmark outpost.
Exactly. And some even suggested to turn the military playground to an outpost, the one that is on the south side, southeastern side on Drucker County located. Yeah, exactly.
I was bummed the first time I saw. I thought I was going to get to walk around that airstrip. Just thought I'd add that.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, I agree. Um, all right. Uh, Tino, so you're good, Tino. So I can
Yeah,
say
I'm
my
good.
piece on it.
Of course.
Um,
Go ahead.
I know for a fact that this is just a raw representation of what they want this to be, and I think with our input and with the community's input, they're gonna be able to tweak and adjust these outposts to be more like what Tino said, and probably better, suited to give you more pros and cons. Because Undead Labs loves to give you something but take something in return, and I have mixed feelings about that. But that's just my opinion. Um, I want to touch up on the outpost thing because I know why they did the outpost the way they did them right now. And after experiencing the beta for, 30 plus, almost 40 hours, if you are not able to upgrade your outpost like that, you're going to be in a bind really quick. You know what I mean? And within a matter of days, if you can't upgrade an outpost, you're not going to be able to supplement what they took away, because they took away a lot more in this version of Lethal Zone than the original. Your loot table has been reduced significantly, which I don't agree with. I hate when they do that. I hate when they take away your options. The other thing is, like, they said it on their stream. You could go loot where the fog is, but they don't tell you that 1,000 zombies are gonna appear from the cracks.
Out of thin air.
The temporal displacement that's in that place, and then next thing you know, you're surrounded by 100 zombies, and you're like, wait a minute, I just wanted to loot this container, right? And you just can't lose. What I'm saying, so you have to go after the play cards, and you have to strategize which play cards you need to take out to free up the territories, so then you can upgrade the territories, so that you could actually balance the scale a little bit. And I would say balance it, but it's not really balanced because Tino knows what I'm talking about. So what do I like about the outpost? I like any option that you have in the game to make the game give you more possibilities. I'm with. Being able to upgrade the outpost, I don't find that to make it easier. I see the necessity of actually having to do it early on in the game, like Bunndee put out earlier. But I do like the option to make those outposts even better. For example, if I take over a clinic, right? That clinic should be able not only to supply meds, but whatever equipment is in that clinic, we should be able to use. So let's say we should be able to cure the plague heart quicker off your characters if you send them to the clinic instead of sending them to your med facility. You know what I'm saying? You should have other options in it, but give you more for upgrading, because they take away a lot. You guys don't know this because Tino's not a fan of deconstructing outposts like I am, but they take away almost everything you put into it. If you deconstruct that outpost, you don't get your materials back. You don't even get all your influence back. So, like, I put in, let's say, 25 supplies to upgrade this outpost to level 3. I only get back 3 supplies back. That's a huge stab at somebody at Lethal Zone. You know what I'm saying? You don't get your supplies back. So people are like, well, this is going to be exploited. It's going to be eaten. No, my dude. If you put that outpost down, you better be ready to take it in the chin when you deconstruct it. So
I think Brant answered that question too in the streams. It's like they have it on that the percentage, like depending on which difficulty you have.
Bunny, 40% of 25 is not 2. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay? 40% of 25 is not 2. And my math is horrible, right, Tino? Yeah. I got some bad math.
No, I don't know exactly.
But they said 40%.
Something that
they said 40%. Yes.
In order to upgrade the outpost, isn't it like 2 materials?
No. To upgrade the first one is 5.
It's 5.
I think it was 6. It was for some 6, like the food outpost.
Okay, so let's say 6. And then after that, I think you have to put in 10.
15.
No, 10.
Okay.
And then 15.
Oh, 10. Oh, okay.
Yes. It's like it scales up. There's a scale to it. So it's something like 25 total, or 26 supplies. When you deconstruct that, because I've done it a few times and I've taken it in the
I
face.
gotta be honest. I can't speak on that because, as you said before, I don't abandon Outpost or deconstruct.
Go ahead and do it,
so-
Tino. Tino here. Do it one time for me, please.
The Tino
No.
here.
Check out the backpacking. You'll see what I'm talking about. You get backpacked all the way the hell back to 2 supplies. And I was like, the first time I did it on stream, I was like, what the F? I was like, oh, hell no, this is horrible. So, they need to fix that. That needs to be adjusted. That's clearly effed up.
I was curious about that too.
So I can tell you, you can go watch my streams. I got 2 of them. I just construct a few. You'll see me just take it in the chin every time I take it away. So you only get like a fraction of your influence that you spend into the outpost, and which is 40%, yes. But your supplies, you do not get back that 40%.
But I think Lucy also addressed that in the stream when she was.
They weren't sure. She wasn't sure. She said
exactly.
She said, I'm not sure what the numbers. Brent said 40%. I frowned when I heard that. I was like, man, I got footage that they can knock this down real quick. So anyway, that's my thing. Now, if you want the outpost to be real, which is something that Bunndee and me talked about in the past in other videos, you should have to assign a person to that outpost if you want the benefits. That's just my idea. It's like, I want the benefits of this outpost. It needs to be manned. That gives you a more of a challenge to manage your outpost. To be like, okay, do I want this benefit? Not. I need this dude. Okay, but pull him out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I need this doctor over here. I'm gonna pull him out, and then you lose that. So that you kind of can balance this. Because what I'm saying is, I'm giving out an idea, right, as part of the problem as a solution, and you can make these things better. And I think at the end of the day, outposts are a great idea. Upgrading them is great. More options is always better. Less options is always bad. If you don't like it, you can toggle it off. Yeah, you can toggle it off or you can ignore it and you can play however you want. And at the end of the day, you get the experience that you want. But limiting people to something because somebody doesn't like it is nonsense because there's a lot of other people that do. So that's my take on Outpost. I'm not going to really touch up on the landmark ones because you guys did a great job. I agree with you guys. Some landmarks require you to actually put a person in it. There's I think 1 or 2, and I think that's gonna lean towards like you can choose a person to stay there instead of paying the cost. There's one landmark. I think it's the windmill, or I can't remember which one it is. It's one of them. You can actually. That's one of the options. You can put a person, or you can pay 100 influence to have some enclave take care of it for you, or you can pay the parts. I think it's a windmill. That's what I'm.
Influence, since that's their currency in the game.
Yeah.
They use influence as like your other enclaves, your friendly enclaves.
Yeah.
Taking care of it for
you. Exactly.
So influence is the currency.
Yeah.
Labor are your survivors, and parts are parts.
Exactly. So they're kind of implementing what I kind of want to see on the other outposts, but to get more benefits from it. Like I said, like for example, in a clinic, you have better equipment in the clinic that you're gonna have, in your makeshift, medical facility that you have in your base. So obviously, you should have an EKG machine. You should have some, you have better stuff in there. So you should be able to treat your stuff, your injuries better. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's definitely room for improvement for the outpost. I absolutely am for them, and I think they're at their infancy right now. And like, I'm gonna put on my survey because I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna put all this stuff on there. Well, I haven't done it yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, so, that's foreshadowing for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, Bunndee.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say that's foreshadowing, something that you hint at from time to time of what's coming in the next iteration.
Well, yeah, I got to make sure that people understand that I'm putting it out there. It's gonna be out there. Anyway, so that's my take on it. Now, one of the next topic is going to be wishlist stuff, and I want to talk about wishlist stuff because I see that some of the things that it may or may not come out in this DLC, and I'm hoping some of it does come out. And the first person that has the reins on this one's going to be you, Tino here. So, yeah, we'll talk wishlist stuff. You just kind of made a few videos on some things, and you know, and some of that stuff is wish listy, you know, and some of that stuff's been talked about, and some of the stuff is more specific. But you know, anyway, I'll let you take the reins on that one, and then I'll go next, and then Bunny will be last on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the next things, I mean, something that many might argue about because we already had a bunch of them in the game is some new and maybe the final 1 or 2 packs of weapons that we'll get in the game. I mean, yeah, we have like, I don't know, just an approximate number, like 300, 350 weapons.
No critical response pack?
And yeah, that's where I was going for. You know I'm going for that.
I know. Go ahead.
August can't come soon enough, huh, Tino?
August 1st, man. April, August.
1st.
Yeah, April, August. Yeah, go ahead.
Update. Yeah, they didn't say which year, so maybe 2024.
Nah, it's gonna be August 1st.
Yeah.
It's gonna be August 1st.
I hope so, for Tino's sake. Hope the people continue.
Not the August in 3 years.
And next year it'll be in April. It'll be like it was supposed to be this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe update 37 or something will finally have critical response back. No, but
hopefully.
What I meant is actually getting more into the theme, more into the critical response topic. So like the front line, at also some more military stuff, military guns. Like there was also something that I wanted to do a video about it, very specific. So I'm not going too much into detail with that. About a new weapon type, because the last time they implemented the lever action rifles in, what was it, September last year? Yeah, September, I'm pretty sure, with the open range packs. So I was thinking about also a new weapon type, but it doesn't even necessarily need a complete new animation, just a kind of different reload. I don't want to go into details with that, but a couple new weapons. That just one gun I'm going as an example is the P90. It might fit into the critical response pack. Just saying. The G36C,
Push
great
it, Tino.
weapons, all for the critical response pack, but because the X36C, that is not a G36C. I mean, you can tell me that it's not the same weapon. That is fact.
No,
and
no, it's not.
But yeah, other than that, I'm also still having the opinion, like the majority, we already got many weapons, and most weapons are working in a similar way and are like weapon skins. And my only other wish is something that I already spoke out on our last Prime Directive when we had the final topic. Also, our wish list is something I still have. If it's, as long as it's not too budget heavy, a couple of more missions, side mission, like a quest line.
Yes.
I mean, also a longer one, not just like something like Eagle Eye, which consists of like 2 or 3 missions, or which was Chief Jackson, right? The Chief Jackson mission,
Chief Jackson mission, yeah.
Something with like 6-7 missions in a row that involves more than just one survivor in the community. Something like a mini story, like some sort of campaign. Maybe not really a DLC, but an extra mode for the actual main game mode. So we'll see about that. But the mission is something that keeps
Red Talon network established.
Network, or maybe that for SOD3, who knows? But that's all that I gotta wish and ask for. I'm through with it.
That's good.
A critical response back, please, this year. Thank you.
All right. So I'm next on the list because Bunddee's gonna be last. What I want, I've been talking about this for a while now. I've made several videos, armory videos, wishlist videos, where you can actually modify your weapons.
Yes.
And customization, barrel length, just make the weapons more you. If you like to go, tactical, you can. If you want to go fully integral, you can. If you want to go, option based, you can. If you want to have an under barrel shotgun, you should.
I smell some Tom Clancy vibes here.
Well, they do it in that. They do it in those games very well. That's one thing I like about it. They do it very well, and also Call of Duty does it very well too. Warzone.
Yeah, the modern
so games. you can modify it and make the weapons more to your play style. and especially in this game, I don't see why that's an issue. We even being able to switch scopes out and stuff. That's always been something that I really, at the core, I think State of Decay is missing. Making weapons more. You even painting. Like, here's an idea I put out a long time ago. I think it was in a Prime Directive. If you want to make, like, I don't know, a battle pass or something like that, but listen, just listen, or a DLC, all right, to make money so that you can raise for more funds to make this game better, because we don't know when we're gonna get State of Decay 3. It could be 3033 for all we know.
Yep.
So you know what I mean. So I'm joking, by the way, but we don't know when we're gonna get it. So this would give them more funds. If people are willing to spend, I don't know, $5 for this DLC, and then you can customize your weapons in color. You can, what I mean. You can do certain things. Maybe even have your ammunition specialist craft color skins for your. You know what I mean. You can make them green. You can make them black. Whatever. You can make them blend to whatever outfit you like.
Or the one with the pink skin and the heart.
Whatever floats your boat, at that point. But what I'm saying is give you the options to customize your weapons. It's always been something that I've been, like, asking for, almost begging to a point. I've made several armory videos, and I've also, the other thing that I want to see is weapon swapping, like quick weapon swapping. I hate having a crossbow and I'm like, trying to switch over to my pistol, and I got to dig in my backpack to dig it out and equip it, and all that, and you can't do that on the fly, and it's tough to fight a game that's action based where you have to jump onto something to change your mode, and I don't like that. So I hope that we see primary, secondary, or double primary in the secondary, like you do in the Tom Clancy games. I made videos about that, so enough of that. I'm not gonna beat it down to the ground. So Bunndee, my dude, it's all you. What you want to see? Wishlist. State of Decay 2.
That's kind of tricky because when I think about it, I see it from a developer standpoint. And like we touched on already, they're limited in scope. It's a 3-year-old game and all that good stuff. So what you ask for, it has to be something that you would think that's within the lines of something that they can actually deliver on. Right. And what you guys have said thus far, I believe is something that they can definitely deliver on. Story content, the most I would think cost would be in getting someone to just, read the lines. So that shouldn't be something that would be too difficult for them to do.
Tino will do it for free.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I would do it too.
There you go. See, Bunndee D.
I said that I've lent out my ideas or whatever to Undead Labs. They just got to call me.
That's right.
Those things are something that they should be able to do. The only issue I see is like the lore thing. I'm sure they have some ideas about the lore of State of Decay. I don't think they have it all worked out yet. I think hopefully we may see that in SOD3. We may get more lore. As far as the red talons, the network, and so forth. So, like Tino said, maybe some, little tiny stories and stuff like that with like, a 5-mission strand, kind of like what they did with the zombie hunters, right?
Yep.
Something like that. Just something that kind of extends. Because at the end of the day, guys, why are people still playing this game after 3 years? Why do people play a game that's still 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old? The gameplay has got to be what keeps you coming back. And as long as they keep adding variations to the gameplay, which kind of encourage you to play the game a different way, then that's what's going to keep you coming back. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, the gameplay has to sell you on it. So, what I want to see, like the video I made, something that everybody's asking for. I had a comment on that video just recently saying that, they've been talking about it. It's coming. No ETA, but it's coming. The legacy pool recruitment.
Oh,
That's the thing that
would be nice.
I don't see any reason why they don't have that.
Exactly.
Agree.
So legacy pool recruitment is something that I definitely would like to see, other than the story content, and definitely the weapon swapping. The weapon swapping, I think, if they're gonna do it, if they want to make it sensible, if they want to make it make sense, you got your two-handed weapon, and then you got your side holster. You swap between the two. If they're gonna do it, it'd be nice if we could have, like, two-handed weapons, but I don't know if they're gonna go that far. But it should be real easy for them to give us the sidearm and the weapon on our back. I don't see that being an issue either. So that's about it
Be
that I
very
could say
useful.
for
Yeah.
what I'd like to see as far as State of Decay 2 is concerned.
Cool. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on to the last subject, and last subject is gonna be E3. What are your expectations? We're gonna kick this off with myself because I'm the one that's next on the chopping block. And E3 expectations. I know for a fact that we're gonna probably see something on State of Decay 3, maybe another little teaser trailer, maybe something a little bit more gameplay. I doubt, but I definitely foresee us getting a trailer SOD3. And I think that whatever is coming is going to be released at that time, kind of like they did with Heartland. That's what I assume. Now, do I know for sure? No. What is it going to entail or foretell? I don't know. But my expectation is that E3 is going to be very exciting. Not only are we going to find out about new games, but we're also going to get some State of Decay news that we're going to go absolutely bananas for. So that's what I think of E3. Bunndee, you're going to be next.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that before. Like, when they mentioned the beta was coming out, the PTR, public test round, that okay, they're gonna do this. We're in April now. The game's anniversary is in May, so we're thinking that whatever they're doing, they want this beta, the update, to release sometime in May. Okay, now I don't know if that's still the case anymore, because seeing it in the wild now, it's like I'm thinking they really, because remember we first talked about it, we thought that it was kind of a marketing thing that they were doing that, but now I really believe that they do want feedback, because probably when they were play testing it, they were probably like, I don't know if people are gonna like this too much. Let's put it out there and see what kind of feedback we get. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as E3 is concerned, I think that since we didn't have one last year, Microsoft is like saying to all their first party studios, we want y'all to have something to show. So that means we're going to see something on State of Decay 3. Maybe another trailer, something like that. It's going to be something to kind of get us hyped up. And I think that they're saving something for State of Decay 2 for to come out in June for E3. I'm not saying what I think it is. I don't know, but it's got to be something worthy of being released. If they're gonna do the release, day one release thing again.
I think so as well. You good, Bunny?
Yeah.
All right. Tino here with another State of Decay.
Of what you would like to talk about this next? Because I gotta be honest with you. Up until a couple of days ago, when we had our private conversation, right? I didn't even had it. I gotta be completely frankly and genuine with you. I didn't even had it on my radar. I mean, I knew that the A3 will be a thing, of course. As last year, not like a present thing, just like I think like what was it? Like a live stream, right? Because of the current situation worldwide. But I didn't even thought about State of Decay 2 nor 3 being a thing that will be covered in there. But we'll see. I'm not trying to be a pessimist or try to blow all the hopes off, or the what's it called, I can't find the word right now.
Can help him out, Bundy.
Hey, we know my memory.
Well, anyway,
you're talking about like
prediction, prediction. That's what it.
You're trying to derail the hype train. Yeah, I got you.
Well,
Like,
at the worst, I think that at worst, we're gonna get update 25 at worst, and we already know update 25 is coming with plague territories and
Yeah,
updated Outpost. So
exactly.
at worst, we're getting that. If they decide, well, we don't have nothing for E3, we're gonna drag
Mm,
the plague territories until June.
yeah,
You
I
know,
think
okay.
we'll know for
that's
sure
the
how,
worst case scenario.
and we'll know for sure how long this beta is, how long they're
Yeah,
gonna
that
drag
is
this
another
on.
thing.
So if
I
they
finally
terminate the
also
beta,
feel.
May
if
1st is Saturday, so
yeah, exactly. If they
and the
terminate the beta,
anniversary is like 4
yeah,
weeks from now. So
exactly. If they terminate the beta early, then we know that that's what we're gonna get.
so we know we're getting something. At worst, is
Hmm.
going to be this content that you guys are playing now. But
Exactly.
the way they keep eluding and the way Lucy's like something else, but I can't talk about it. And it's
No,
like,
there's more things,
yeah,
more things,
I
way
think
more
that they're
things.
because
Well,
Yeah, and she
the
was
way
rubbing her hands.
Microsoft usually
yeah,
does, they want to have something to show, and their first party studios, that they're gonna like really be putting pressure on them to have something.
yeah,
So I think we're at worst is gonna be this update, but I think they got something else planned.
yep,
Oh, okay.
definitely so. That's
And
my thought,
it's
Tino.
got to be ready or almost ready to go. Because
Mm.
when you're talking about E3, it has to be ready. They can't be cutting it to the last couple of days. So that's
Yep.
my prediction anyway.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to be, as I said before, genuine with that. I doubt it will be something with SOD3. But if I'm wrong, then color me impressed. In what is it, 6 weeks roundabout? Six and a
They're
half
gonna have a
weeks, almost
trailer,
7.
Tino. They're gonna
I
have a
told
trailer.
I told you so. It's coming.
Mm,
You know that, Tino.
They
Get
had a
ready.
mm.
teaser last year, Tino. They're gonna have a trailer. They got
No,
to.
we'll see. We'll see about that because I
Come
think they're
on.
still very,
Come
very early
on.
process, still in the earliest progress or stage of SOD3. I don't think that it's even like 40% done on. But that's just me. So I'm no
Well,
game developer,
not
and
gameplay, but they're gonna have a trailer.
no, I
They're gonna have
know.
something to hype us up.
30
Okay,
33, man, dudes. That's all I gotta say.
okay. That is all that I'm going to say about it. You can color me impressed if you're right with your points in 6.5, 7 weeks, and
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, guys, if you're done, Tino, I'm gonna
yep,
go ahead
I'm
and
done.
wrap this thing up. Bunny, you good, my dude?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I want to thank everybody that's showed up and watched this. This is probably going to be something that I'm going to put out as a premiere. So stand by for that, Tino. I also want to thank these two gentlemen for taking time out of their day to come and talk and have this conversation. So thank you, Tino, and thank you, Bunndee Games. Also, both of these gentlemen have channels. I will be putting something in the background so you guys can go check their channels out if you don't know who they are. They're both content creators. They both cover State of Decay 2 and other sort of games as well. Don't forget to hit them out and look out for them as well. They're good, good friends of mine now. We're actually we're past this stranger point, and we're more than just people that make content. So
Yeah.
I want to thank them for their time, and thank you guys for watching as well. Thank you for all your support, and don't forget to drop a comment below and let us know what you think of this Prime Directive. Now, Bunndee, you want to go say your goodbyes? This is the time to do it, my dude.
Yeah, this was fun. I actually miss doing this, man. We should do this more often.
Oh, we
Yep.
will. We will. I promise. I
I
told you I was
miss
gonna.
Tino, man.
I
I
know.
miss
I
him.
know. I know. I miss him too. I, I
I
miss him a
can't
lot.
say that for you. I'm gonna just leave that alone. And the
Well,
reason for that, I'm gonna just because we talk on a regular basis.
yeah, we do. We do. We talk quite a bit, So anyway,
Okay, likewise, Bundy.
Yeah.
likewise, guys. Tina, you want to say goodbye before we
I
go?
just want to add, light, love, and peace.
All right. Well, that's all we have for now. Congrexes checking out of the Prime Directive.